Yeah. Come on. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Sean Higgs coming at you midday money here on a Wednesday. Welcome on into the show. Hit the like, share, subscribe, notification bell on the YouTube channel. We got Sean Higgs YouTube rolling out. We got winners and whiners in the house as well. And we will have Terry Edelman on Winners and Whiners after my show. I think he's going to be on Picks and Parlays channel as well, coming out with a little live action on the YouTubes there. So we got that going on. YouTube making a comeback for the channels. Again, like, subscribe here. I'm Mr. Sean Higgs on the X. I tweeted out the picks there for you. No new ads from last night. If you watched Look Headlines last night, nothing added in. Tired, and I watched my Central Florida roll in the over last night. 6 and 3 day college basketball. Good to get off the schneid there. I'm like struggling the last few days with college hoops. But we will take a win. And 294, 260 on the season. And I finished up my one notebook. And so I was going to get rid of it. But I flipped to the back. And on November 27th, I'm going to have to move it to my new notebook here, to the back of a new notebook. Well, I got the Mr. Whiskers in the back here, February 19th, UConn, Florida in the Final Four. I got to add my Marcos minute where he's got November 27th, 2025. KC to win the Super Bowl. Loser. Golden State, Milwaukee in the NBA Finals. That's his MO, because he had the same thing in the year before that on December 11th in 2024. He said Milwaukee Golden State in the finals. Mike B on November 27th called the Rams Super Bowl. So Mike B with the win. I'm going to put that back in my book there. November 27th, 2025, Rams Super Bowl. So he had that going on. He had the Rams getting in. Well, at least they lost in the championship game. So there is that. And so I do keep my little notes. I say get the pen out. iHeartRadio after the fact, if you're interested in listening to the Midday Money Show. We're going to stick around for about 20 minutes. I'm looking back. I have all of my games from last year here, college hoops. When we started rolling into the dogs, the doggies that I started this year on January 8th, I started last year on February 3rd. So definitely a little bit earlier this season than last. And if we look at last year's – what was the final? Do I have the final numbers in this one? A lot less. 51 and 39, 38 and 21 close, 33 and 54. The Uglies were terrible last year. Uglies are terrible. And then there's some Major League Baseball in last year's book here. So there we go. We got to wrap up last year's book with all of my win totals. Last year baseball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 win totals last year. And this season we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I got 3 duplicates on different numbers. So little less this year. But let's get on with the day here. for you. And then we'll be back for look-ahead lines at 10. We do it 10:15. I know there's other late-night shows. Now, going forward next week, like starting Sunday, I think it'll be official midnight. I mean, I like the guys who do their shows as well, but you know what? Look-ahead lines, that's how it started 5 years ago. So I'm going to roll back into the exactly midnight Eastern time for the NCAA for conference tournament starting on Monday. I think there's one conference tournament game on Monday, maybe two. Then they roll out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be live. I'm going to have that on the Picks and Parlays channel as well. So that's how it all started. That is how the Midday Money Show all started 5 years ago. Right around this time. All right. Plays are in the chat. I'll put them up here on the board. Let's say good morning, Michael Bay. Nevada got it done. They won last night in Nevada. College Hoops, San Diego State on the one line. Your Cal waiting for a better line. The smooth for Strip West Coast. We talked about that last night. Mary's is your squad. Wofford plus 8.5. East Tenney is already the 1 seed. I mean, you think they're gonna? I mean, listen. What am I gonna say? They're not gonna hang tough here. You're getting a bunch of points. You're getting 8.5. Not like it's a terrible number to get. It's not a 2 or 3 for you. Third, let's see. I mean, nice. I mean, why not with Wofford, right there? It's not like they're terrible. They're 18-11. They lost by 14 beginning of the month. Lost to our guys Money Earning Furman last game out. East Tenney 13-3. Mercer roll for 10-6. Furman's 9-7. Sanford 9-7. I mean, there's as good as 13-3 as you got 10-6 down to 8-8 with 6 other teams. On the road, Wofford 1.5 point favorite, loser 6 point dog. He didn't cover. Covered at VMI on the road. Covered 1 point dog. East Tenney 8-2 straight up, 6-4 ATS. Covered on the road. Small dog winner. Outright loser at home to Sanford. There's the Wofford win. Furman home is a close game. 4 points. Even Chatty won by 12. They were given 10. Didn't cover versus Western. Given 9, won by 2. Citadel by 20. They got that one done. Yeah, Wofford is a worthy opponent here. Take them. Rams Super Bowl would have cashed the more on kick return and I'm off the punt. It's a good one. Probably going to be taking the Johnnies right before tip. I hate that this game is not being played on campus. But since Slick Rick is taking over St. John's, 5-0 ATS versus UConn. I like UConn here. And we'll get to it in a second. DV's in the house. Good afternoon. Looks like you're Detroit and Monroe. What are you throwing on Georgia catching 9.5 at Vandy? Big number. I would lean Georgia. Again, these kind of schools, I don't love jumping into SEC and this kind of stuff. And that's just me. I like to go off grid. But again, we have a team here that they're 19-8. They're 19-8. They won the last 2 in the series. They won at Kentucky 2 games ago, and there was no letdown. Then they beat Texas by 11, Georgia. So, I mean, one team's 8-6 in conference, the other one's 7-7. How are they a 10-point favorite? How? They just dropped 2 in a row. It's Georgia or nothing. SF Niners in the house. I'm going to take Tulane versus Tulsa. I'm not going to say no. This is one of those spots. Again, we could make a lot more noise. I have 8 games today. We could have 18. I mean, again, we have a home dog spot here where it's Tulane catching points, and they've won 3 straight and 7 of 8 in the series. The one loss of that was an overtime game. Tulsa on the road, lost at Wichita, lost at South Florida, won by 2 at Florida Atlantic, won by 6 at Rice. Tulane's won 4 in a row. Granted, are these the best teams they're beating here? No, but you want to give me points? I'm going to say okay. JK's in the house. Dylan's got the lock emoji out. He's adding Santa Clara. Last night's lock, he had Portland, North Alabama, St. John's, and Florida. He's adding Santa Clara versus Mike's Mary's. Zappers is in the house. Comey Sana. And what's this? Tennis? Gold Eagle, love to see it. OKC +8, San Antonio -7.5. What do you say in some NBA? How about 8.5 versus OKC? You got to take the points with OK. Are they begging to take them? Are they really going to lay an egg here and lose by 15? Right, 8 is might as well be 15 in the NBA. At least in my pea-sized brain rolling down a 12-lane highway. Everybody goes on runs. I like Toronto as a dog. Florida line has come down. It's a little surprising. The whole world's taking the Gators beat Texas. I was like, Texas has the size to match up Gators. It's just tough to get in front of the Gators the way they're playing. I think they're dangerous right now. They're in there. It took them a bit to kind of get their flow going with their transfer guys in here. But I mean, look at the run they're on here. They're winning by double digits every single game. Every single game. And look what did Texas do. They beat LSU by 3 at home. Mississippi by 11. 9 over South Carolina. Are we all that impressed? They lost to A&M. I mean, Florida. I don't want to get in Florida. I like a dog. I'm not going to take a dog just to take it, though. 6 in Santa Clara. I'd wait. It keeps going up. It was 3.5 yesterday. Talked about it. I was writing down the lines at 6 o'clock. It was 3.5. I didn't even get through the extra games. I was finishing up with St. Mary's and I think Washington and Loyola Marymount. I didn't even get into extra games. And by the time I look up again, it flashed to 5.5. King D's in the house. Gary's in the house. St. John's. Pizza Money. You go money line on St. John's, I guess, there. Gators have the best front court in college hoops. The guard play suspect. I think that's what's going to keep them from repeating. And they look like they're playing all right so far. All right, let's do a recap of what we put out last night here. Again, I didn't add anything else to the matchup here. 147 and 139 plus $25 with our season-long college basketball here. UConn -4.5, Detroit +8.5, Stanford -8.5. Looking at Odds Logic Live currently, let's see, St. John's game. Any movement there? 6.5 now at FanDuel, so that's gone up. Detroit still holding steady at 8.5. Stanford at home, I thought I saw that one move a little bit. Let's see if I can find it up here. I want to say it was 9.5. It is 9.5 there. Now the inners. The dog system that I've been on since January 8th, 120 wins, 75 losses, plus 3,375. UL Monroe, fit in the bill, plus 14.5. Close calls in the doggy situation, 68 and 56, plus $640. Georgia Southern, plus 5.5. These two games right now, Georgia Southern still 5.5. UL Monroe is at 14.5 as well. No movement on those two games. The Uglies, 54 and 56. I had mentioned it last year was 33 and 50 something. Bad numbers with the Uglies. This year, I started a little earlier. That was from February 3rd or 4th on last year we did these. Now I moved it up a whole month. More games, obviously. And some of these Uglies have cashed in the month of January. Holy Cross plus 7.5. It is now 8.5. Lafayette plus 8.5. It is now 9.5. So I thought it would be 10, or I said that last night, and it did peak up there. But we got both dogs here in the video for you. I'll keep that scrolling for everybody in the house. Dylan, Detroit Mercy again. You are loaded up to bear tonight. Detroit makes it now to the list, plus 8.5. Florida minus 6.5. You had that last night. Santa Clara 5.5. You had that last night. Portland plus 26. Yes. Also Northern Alabama plus 2.5. When you mentioned the St. John's plus 5. Lock emojis for Dylan. 3-1 on Tuesday with his lock emoji plays. So there is that. All right. So happy Wednesday. Stick around if you're on Winners and Winers. Anybody watching on Winners and Winers? Hope there are. Yeah, there's 3 people on Winners and Winers. Hockey fans, if you're even watching on Sean Higgs on the X, Terry Edelman will be doing hockey next. I'm not a hockey cat. A little bit. I'll maybe try to find a spot for myself, but I don't pretend to be good at hockey. I'll say I'm NFL, college football, college hoops, baseball, stronger sports for sure for me. But Terry will be doing hockey in about 10 minutes. So go check that out for you hockey fans. And again, Sunday night, I'll be on all platforms on the YouTube as conference tournaments start up, and that's how the whole Midday Money Show started. During the old COVID. It was the end of February, and we had the tournament stuff, and kids were off break on the computer, not doing their classes in middle school. Somebody jump on here and say hello to everybody. And here we are, 5 years later, ready to celebrate with winners. There you go. Comments has the game. Comment section on YouTube have the games posted. iHeartRadio after the fact. At Mr. Sean Higgs on the X if you want to come give me a follow. 5268 follower count. Can we find 2 more people to get me to 5,270? Going to be done? YouTube rejected my spam. Ridiculous. We're out of here. Happy Wednesday. Back tonight for Look At Lines. Notification bells on. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.